Welcome to another episode of the Don Davis Real Estate Show. It's your host, Don Davis of Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, brokered by EXP. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Upon that rock he built this church. Upon that rock we've built our business, and our results are a reflection of our character. If you'd like to follow up on our results, feel free to go to HAR Platinum, Zillow, Homelight, Redfin, you name it. There's a plethora of sources to evaluate our results and how we've helped other clients in our business. But today I want to definitely have everybody tune in, especially on Facebook Live, and also you can follow up on YouTube eventually and see the Don Davis Lux Realty Group on our YouTube channel. Have a special guest, none other than Keith Jackson, assistant team leader of Keller Williams Southwest. And people who are not familiar with a team leader, their role is to encourage realtors in this tough business to do better and take their business to a next level. So welcome to the show, Keith. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me.
Man, I'm glad to have you. I know anytime, and I know a little bit more about your background that you're going to share with the audience later, but I know anytime you have a man of faith, a couple of faith that walks out on faith and makes a decision to move from their city to Houston in the real estate business, you definitely have to be not only a coach, but a leader to make a decision like that. Give us a background on you, where you're from, who your wife is, famous wife, and what made you guys transition from Chicago to Houston.
Well, my name's Keith Jackson, as you said, assistant team leader at Keller Williams Southwest. I'm blessed to be married to a great wife, Kelly Jackson, leader of the KJAX group at Keller Williams Southwest. And as you said, we started our real estate journey in Chicago.
Yes.
And we went on through. We had broker's licenses in Chicago, and it was great to start out. We started with the two major brands, 1 year with the blue and white, and then we went to the red, white, and blue, and we were with them for at least 12 and a half years.
I met you at red, white, and blue. We were red, white, and blue together.
That's right. That's right. Well, what happened in Chicago, the market collapsed.
Yes.
We made it through there. By the grace of God.
Yes.
And my daughter graduated college from Cornell, and then she said, I'm going to come back. And I said, don't come back here. And she went to teach for America and came to Houston. So we visited one too many times, and we looked around and said, why are we still up here in Chicago? Let's come to Houston. So,
wow, that's a typical story of transitioning to Houston. I wound up in Houston as I was actually invited to a Keller Williams luxury event in Amelia Island, Florida. And during that luxury summit, I met a gentleman named Bruce King. Bruce King said, well, Don, you ought to visit Houston sometime. So I came up here for a Greater Houston Luxury Summit where we had Kofi Narte doing certification on luxury. So that was January of, say, probably 2014. And I said, that was a nice city, man. I ought to consider moving there one day. Well, then in that class, they had luxury statistics of the different luxury markets. And I said, San Antonio's not on this list. So how can I be a good luxury agent if they're not even populating the San Antonio luxury stats? Well, come to find out, the San Antonio luxury market wasn't big enough for them to track.
Okay.
So I said, if I really want to hit the ground running in luxury real estate, I have to relocate to Houston.
I hear you.
So it took about 6 months for me to convince my wife, you know what I mean? I had billboards all over San Antonio at the time. Everybody thought I was crazy. You done all this marketing in San Antonio. Why would you go to Houston? But once I calculated my average sales price would increase just by moving 2 hours up the road, I knew I needed to go ahead and take Houston seriously. So that's when I relocated from San Antonio to Houston to work for Keller Williams Metro in the Galleria.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. When you transitioned from red, white, and blue to Keller Williams, what was the writing on the wall? Because it seems like you guys are doing pretty well at red, white, and blue.
It was going well. I had to be honest with you. What worked for us in Chicago did not translate here.
Oh, exactly.
It did not translate here, and we spent a lot of money using the old methods.
Correct.
And so once we realized we had to do something altogether different, that's when we started to catch on. But after being with the red, white, and blue for so long, and we started to look around, we're not getting any younger.
Yes.
And we both came to the conclusion that, hey, if something happened to one or both of us,
exactly,
we're done.
Well, yeah. Just like I know some great barbers in the barber business, and man, they tell me Don, it looks great. The grass looks greener. He said, but if I go out and sprain my wrist tomorrow, I can't cut hair.
Right.
So you always have to have that redundancy, that backup plan, to where if something goes wrong, you have a stable business to build and fall back on.
Exactly.
And so elaborate a little bit more. So it was a time to transition from red, white, and blue to KW. did you foresee? Well, I'm sure you studied all brands before you made that decision.
We had looked around quite a bit. Like I said, so we had looked at the major brands, and we decided that's kind of where we wanted to go. Even when we were in Chicago with our broker's license, we could have went independent.
Yes.
And that's a great way to go, but if you
want to grow.
You want to grow. That we decided not to go that route.
Exactly.
So after looking around, we wanted to build a team so that we could still grow and expand the business. But if we needed to step away for whatever reason, we could do that and still be generating income.
And that's a lot similar to what we have at EXP. EXP, we have the revenue share. You guys have the profit share.
Right.
That gives you long-term goals, not just short-term goals. And I see a lot of parallels, but I just feel like you guys have been doing a lot longer as far as KW. So it's already it's already in place. It's up and going.
Right.
And at EXP, we're getting going. We're getting. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know how it is. The train coming out with that. I think I can.
Exactly.
So we're at the ground level building it up, but I've always been impressed with Gary Keller and the MREA.
Yes.
I tell everybody, I said, no matter what brand you're with, read that MREA.
And that's the way we feel. We're willing to share with anybody from any office or any brand. We want to share our technology and what we've learned because it helps the overall industry. So that's our goal, to lift the realtors in the area and lift the brand, lift realtors all everywhere.
And that's you know what I mean? That's what they say, karma. You know, you help everybody in the industry, you know God's going to bless that.
Exactly.
So it goes hand in hand. So we're going to go ahead and go to our first break. I want to go to a deeper level. We're going to go spiritual level when we come back from the break. When you know you were called to the business position. Because I tell everybody, a broker or team leader are not in it for what they get on the commission side. They're in it to serve. And if you're able to serve, then you can see your business really grow. So, and Keller Williams is very, very detailed at selecting who a team leader or a broker should be, because when it's all said and done, if you can't help the office grow, then you can't help the industry grow.
Exactly.
We're going to go ahead and go through our first break. Love where you live, love where you work, love who you work with. DDLRG. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
You want to excel, Don Davis is a great guy to work for. I mean, he's a great teacher and a great leader.
He's more than family. He's the guy that's actually helping me roll. I didn't know anybody when I moved out here. He's the guy rolling his sleeves up saying, come on, let's go move what you got to move.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. We're back. Don Davis of Don Davis Luxury Realty Group. Love where you live, love where you work. DDLRG, your best real estate show in the greater Houston area that definitely wants to reach out to not only your real estate needs, but your emotional and spiritual needs as well. And that's why we have Mr. Jackson, team leader, assistant team leader, Keller Williams Southwest, Sugarland, Texas, all the way from Chicago to Sugarland. You are a assistant team leader. A team leader has to encourage agents in a real estate market that has 43,000 realtors with clients with credit issues, with that deal fell through, or that inspection fell out, or so-and-so is selling more than me, or my husband don't want me to be a realtor no more, or my wife doesn't want me to be in this business anymore. How do you hype yourself up every day to be the leader you have to be to encourage your realtors? And how many realtors do you have in your office?
Currently, the latest count I saw was that we're at 510.
510 realtors.
510 realtors.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. Because when it's all said and done, the more realtors you have, the more you get to pour into each of them lives, and then you don't know where their business is going to grow from there.
Exactly. What I try to do, Don, is just come from a point of contribution.
Exactly.
And just share what my experiences have been. It hasn't been always rosy.
Exactly.
And so I just try to be as real as I can be and encourage them from the heart and let them know that it's going to be tough starting out.
It is.
And you have to develop a thick skin to accept the no's, accept the hang-ups. Mm-hmm. But if you keep plugging, you're just one step away.
Exactly.
One yes away from an explosion of growth.
So you can hit the ball out the park like the Astros without banging the trash can. So what he means by that, first of all, he said something earlier that was really important. He knew, first of all, he knew to move to Houston from Chicago because the market changed. So he was able to identify the market. Then once he got to Houston, he realized, hey, what worked in Chicago is not working in Houston.
Exactly.
You constantly calling audibles, but at the same time getting no audibles from the Heavenly Father, right?
You have said it. I couldn't say it any better because it was just a blessing.
Yes.
Because we came down here on faith.
Yes.
I had looked to get a job 2 years prior.
Yes.
And nothing opened up. I interviewed with the city of Houston for a real estate manager job.
Yes.
Never heard anything. Nothing came. Nothing broke.
So
my wife said, "Let's just go and do real estate." And I'm like,
"Whoa,
Exactly. And
because we don't know anybody. So real estate, they say it's all about who you know, right?
We didn't have any family.
Have a database in Houston, Texas.
Exactly.
And you didn't have that.
Nobody but my daughter.
Yes.
And so I remember the night before we left, I was sitting there thinking, am I crazy?
Yeah.
But the God has lined up so many blessings. People came into town to help me load the truck to drive.
Wow.
The truck broke down on the way.
Whoa.
Pulled into my wife's vehicle. Pulled into a rest stop to see started back up, never had any more trouble. So I knew it was a blessing.
It's funny, we never even discussed this, but I have a very similar story. We were supposed to transition from San Antonio here. We had a house lined up that we were going to be moving into, and all of a sudden the guy said, hey man, you guys took too long to respond. I went ahead and gave that house to someone else. And so here we are, in Stafford. I'm not even knowing where I am. I'm in Stafford in a little hotel in Stafford, U-Haul full, kids jumping off the bed, eating Pizza Hut every day, but I knew that God told me to move to Houston. Ironically, my wife had quit her job as well. So here we get here, no database at all, and now we're living off of our San Antonio sales are paying our bills in Houston as that transition happened. And that was in June of 2014 for us.
Wow.
And then another couple who's also a team leader, Keller Premier, they relocate from Arizona, same situation, quit their jobs. Then you also have Mrs. Lisa Flores, transition from Chicago, moving in, all these realtors moving in faith to Houston. And then when you go hit the home run, I attend Lakewood Church, and I'm bumping into all y'all at Lakewood Church. Right. I said, look at here, what a coincidence.
Definitely. So just like you said, you got to open yourself up to receive the message.
Exactly. Then even when you don't want to hear it.
That's right. And then you got to be willing to go ahead and step out.
Exactly.
And so it's scary, but you got to step out.
But at the same time, once you step out, they say, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what God has for those who love him. And those are the best blessings, the surprise blessings, the faith-based blessings, where you thought God was just going to take you here, but he actually takes you here, and here.
Exactly.
And you were trying to go that way. So, so now you can actually go back to Chicago, visit, and then at the same time, let your friends and family know, say, hey, if y'all ever want some warm weather, we got an extra room for you.
For sure.
So what do you see? Things going in the industry? I mean, as far as you guys interviewing agents, I know family reunion's coming up, and that's why I want to invite you here before family reunion next Saturday. What do you see you guys doing as far as making an adjustments? Because people say, Don, you're with EXP, you've been with Remax, you've been with Coldwell Banker, I've been with Exit Realty. I've been with all the brands and brokerages. I can play the brand and brokerage game like you cannot imagine.
Exactly.
I know the UFOCs. I know which offices are profitable, which offices are not. I know which offices are smoke and mirrors, just using that as a office to write off on their taxes. They're taking losses intentionally. So I know brands and brokerages like not the normal guy. I actually could be a franchise sales rep. However, I want to discuss how KW is responding to Open Door, the iBuyers, the Zillow offers, and things like that. I know at EXP we have one coming through as well, but I seem like you guys are on that as well. And how Gary Keller came off the bench, you know what I mean? He had retired and came back off the bench and say, hey, I worked too hard to let that sink.
Exactly. Well, definitely, Gary Keller is definitely, he comes from a realtor's place. He is a realtor still. Good. So he's not someone up in the ivory tower, not paying attention to his business.
So he's not a hedge fund guy?
He's active every day.
He's not a hedge fund guy or just somebody who wants to dabble in residential real estate brokerage. He's vested. He's actually done a few open houses himself.
For sure. And so when he looked at the industry, he said, I have to give my agents the best way to compete against. He didn't look at the other brokerages. He said, I got to go against these tech guys, the
Exactly.
Zillows, the Open Doors, and give us a fighting chance.
Tech is where it's at. I'll be honest, man. I network with a lot of credit unions, software companies, and things like that. And when I look at 30% of my business right now, it's coming from tech companies that I have to send them a referral fee on each transaction.
Exactly.
And so if you are not a Uber type company, a rideshare, Lyft, or Amazon, that's a connector. The connectors are, I shouldn't say they're entering the real estate business. The connectors are taking over the real estate business. So if you're not a software connector, or if you're not designing an app for your business, you're going to get left behind.
Technology is vital.
Correct.
In today's market.
Correct.
Not only is it vital, the other piece you have to be able to partner.
Yes.
And build a team.
Exactly.
Because one person, an island's not going to make it in today's market.
No, not like I say. You have one accident, or you catch the flu. You can catch the flu,
right?
And your business will suffer if you don't have a team to support you. So I definitely like the fact that you guys always teach building a team. But you know what was most impressive about the MREA book is you guys always say, most other brokerages say hire buyer agents first. You guys have always said go for the admin first.
And we've seen it. Kelly and I, well, first let me address the one thing you did ask about. How are we addressing the iBuyer?
Yes.
We have our own offer program.
Nice.
Keller offer. So we can walk into a client. If the client says, I don't want to go the traditional route, I just want an offer from an investor, we can say, I can get you an offer by the end of the day.
That's awesome. By close of business, you can have an offer on the table.
I can have an offer on the table.
Or if you want to go ahead and make some repairs and go ahead and
Or we want to go the traditional route, we can go the traditional route and get you more equity, you get you more value for your property, but you make the call, Mr. Seller.
That's good. That's good, man. You gotta adapt with the times. I saw one of the companies you and I worked for before. They were number one. When I say they were number one, they were literally number one. But due to the fact that I don't think they adapted quick enough,
exactly,
things went downhill. It's funny how 30 years of service can go down in like 14, 15 months. I was just talking about that company that just had that explosion. If you research that company that just had that explosion, it was a family-owned business, was doing really, really well, and just in one explosion, they go bankrupt and all of a sudden lose everything they have. And that's the importance of redundancy, building a team, and things like that. We're gonna go ahead and go to our next break. We flow so quick, man. We're flying through. So love where you live, love where you work. Got assistant team leader Keith Jackson here from Keller Williams Software, Sugar Land, Texas. All here about building your business. Any agents out there watching the show, if you want more information, contact Keith Jackson. He has a spot for you. I'm looking for the experienced agents. Experienced agents, come talk to Don Davis. I'll take you wherever I go. But just the main thing, when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a done deal. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a done deal.
DDLRG is for all family groups, whether it's singles, married couples, or families. They specialize, however, in the higher-end upscale properties, but they can handle all borrowers.
We want to create raving fans.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a done deal. Patrick Hammonds down there in San Antonio used to be my detail guy. It's just funny how you meet people in the real estate business. So he used to detail my Mercedes, and he kept upselling, hey, sir, would you like me to treat the leather? I said, I would like you to go to Champion School of Real Estate and get your real estate license. Right. And now he's one of the coaches for Keller Williams in San Antonio under Craig Owen. What's going on, Craig? How you doing out there on 1604, man? KW Heritage, I believe it's called. But once again, we're back. Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, broker by EXP. Love where you live, love where you work. Mr. Jackson loves where he works.
That's right.
He loves where he works, and he works at KW Southwest of Sugar Land, Texas, all the way from Chicago, talking about how God told him to step out on faith and move his real estate business from Chicago to Sugar Land, to Houston, and not having a soul here to prospect to, and at the same time having a broker's license in Chicago where you could have got comfortable and stayed exactly where you were.
Yeah.
So did you grow up, born and raised in Chicago?
No. My story is I've been around, man. Born in North Las Vegas.
Okay, out of Vegas, 702.
That's right. Then grew up in Philly. So
okay.
I went to Philly maybe kindergarten age, maybe 4 or 5, and lived in Philly, and then went to school in University of Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Pitt.
I'm an engineer by training.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So,
So ironic. I worked for Texas Instruments.
Yeah.
And it's just funny how God will lead you to this side.
Exactly. So then after that, I went into sales. That's what took me to Chicago, still working for the chemical company. And then they wanted to shut down and had me come back to Pittsburgh. My wife, who's from Pittsburgh, told me, "You're going to have to get yourself an apartment, bro." So I said no. So that's when we took the severance and jumped into real estate.
Wow. And that's awesome. So you took the severance, jumped into real estate in Chicago, hit the ground running. Market was hot. Heard you had the Gold Coast out there. Oprah Winfrey opening restaurants.
Oh, man.
Everything's going good.
It was something to see. It was really nice.
I heard it was nice. A good friend of mine, Milo Carson, he was a lender out there with Countrywide. Then I got Pastor Bone, one of my neighbors here in Houston, is actually relocated to the church plant here. He's actually planting the church. As a matter of fact, you can attend that church. It's on Mason Road, 3 o'clock. Pastor Bone in Katy, Texas is today at 3 o'clock. I think it's called the World Center on Mason Road. But that Pastor Bone, Glenn Bone from Chicago, is a church planting here. So you definitely want to go check him out. But I just love hearing stories where somebody steps out on faith and actually watches God catch them.
Yeah. And
as you know, Peter had to get out the boat, you know what I'm saying, to find out that he could walk on water.
Exactly.
And you don't know you can walk on water till you have spent some time with God to make the best decisions possible. Let's talk about the MREA a little bit. What do you see that's different in the culture there that you wish you would have had sooner in your career?
Well, you tapped on it before the break. One about getting an admin.
Yes.
Instead of trying to wear all the hats yourself, you're actually pulling away. You're actually hurting your business.
You're hurting it.
You're hurting it because you can't do everything to the highest level of your abilities.
So your service is suffering.
Your service is suffering.
And when your service is suffering, your repeat business is not going to be there, and at the same time you become a one-hit wonder.
Right.
I think that's very important because as a new agent, I jumped out there. You know, as a new agent, people are always calling us and telling us, hey, if you spend $100 on this is going to be the best thing. It's going to bring you 10 leads a day, this, that, and the other. And then what I learned later on is if I spend $100 on my database and take care of my clients, then that's going to be the best referral source ever, from the client appreciation parties to just taking good care of people, letting them know, hey, this is not the end of our transaction. This is the beginning. When I sell you a home, I'm not saying, hey, I'm changing my phone number. I'm actually here for you even more after we close.
Exactly. Our saying is, your database is your business. Your business is your database.
Your business is your database.
And so we are really drilling into our people the fact that you have to not only build your database, you have to nurture your database, you have to touch your database, and our goal is to have you touch it 4 times in a year. Your entire database.
Yes.
So we're teaching systems on how to touch your database.
Nice.
So that you're successful in staying in front of your clients, because realistically, you have to stay top of mind.
Exactly.
And if you do that, you can win.
Exactly. If you stay top of mind with your clients and you have a good relationship with them, you can win. We have about a minute left. I wanted to touch on a few listings we have right now. Go ahead and go to my website, viewallhoustonhomes.com, viewallhoustonhomes.com. We have 2001 Plantain Lily Court out in Pearland. We also have a big listing out there in 4502 Southampton in Manners, right behind Sienna. These are all clients from my database. Actually, I can actually track them back to how they were referred to me, either by a piece of mail.
That's right.
By a previous relationship or anything like that. But man, it's just a pleasure having you. I know with time flew. When you have a good spirit and you connect, man, this show flies by quick. But keep in mind, it's just an appetizer, not a dinner. So if you want to contact Keith, how can I get a hold of you, Keith?
You can reach me easily on my number. My number is 281-779-6624. Again, that's 281-779-6624. Or email me at keithj@kw.com.
Okay, that's all we have for this week. Don Davis Luxury Realty Group. When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind it's a Don deal. We see you next week. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty. Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis